Hi, welcome back to ACL Stands. In this episode we're going to take a look at this Sanyo M9930K. I picked this up from a guy on eBay going by the name Sanyo, an Indian fellow, really excellent guy and great to deal with. So I'm guessing this was from the 70s, maybe late 70s. This was made in Japan. This is the Sanyo Electric Company. Overall pretty nice unit. The nice size drivers there, had the tweeters up there as well, so really like that setup there. Nice little tape counter on here, VU meter as well here, and really nice setup on the top here. Okay, so I've got this thing plugged in and let's set this to radio. That's a good start. Amazing, these dials here have no scratching or anything. That's interesting. Most of the time when they've got this much dust on them. So we've got mono, we've got stereo. This little stereo light comes on here. Oh well, yeah. Okay, this sounds really nice. Clean sound to it. I'm actually really impressed. Radio's working well, and let's test out the tape. Let's eject this. Let's press play. Okay, yeah, that's dead. But just to be expected. So the VU meter as well, when I was pressing play there, goes straight up to 0. So I mentioned the dials on the side here for the tuner. You've got a fine tune dial there as well. It's really nice. On the side you've got beat cancel, which is absolutely stuck in position. You've got a few inputs, outputs, external mic, external speaker, remote. Look at that headphone jack. It's actually sort of professional pro audio 6.35mm jacks. The DIN connector there. Pull this open and looks in really good condition, except for spiders growing up in the top of the battery case there. Let's put that back there. Cosmetically needs a lot of cleaning on there as well. Check out the tape deck. See if we can get that working again. Remove all these screws here. Go right through and to the front panel. There's a certain way to open this. What I usually do is most of these boom boxes open from the front face, so remove the side dials. What needs to happen here is, you can see that's starting to pop open. We need to pop this open and then flip it sort of backwards, so sort of like this, and then push it up over the front. Now you have to be careful because there's probably something connected. You can see here I've still got the wires onto the speakers connected. Also just be careful of the tuner dial string. You want to take a picture of that dial string so you know how it goes if it comes off. So if we just have a look here, I can see I can take it off this way and take it off to the left. Not too bad. The tape unit needs a really good clean. So I would suggest that this unit is most definitely going to need, the first thing is probably a blowout. If I leave all this crap on the board and I have an issue, I can't be able to inspect it well enough. So I need to remove all that fair bit of rust on that actual spring there on the battery compartment. So that'll need to be put in some vinegar or something to remove that. So yeah, first thing I'm going to do here is blow this thing out. Then we have to figure out how to take this tuner section off here. I think it's just got clips on it. Rubber belts on here, and this one looks pretty crap condition. This one's basically useless, but visually inspecting the caps just now. Looking at the other side of that, seeing why that is actually loose like that. But yeah, big chunky mech, and I've never actually seen anything like this before. This will have to come out, and these just have little clips on here that you can just clip out and then just remove the unit. I would like to take this piece completely off. The way that they're put in there is it's kind of like a metal shaft. So there's wires that run all the way up here, and this runs right around to this other speaker here, and then it also runs onto this side speaker here. Microphones as well. They've actually glued in these little tweeters here. But this speaker's not too bad. You can pull these out with the screws. I don't think there's any real need to take this whole unit off. It's got a plastic plate. It's a little bit fogged up. So I'm going to definitely have to try and clean that up. But brush should be able to clean up most of this stuff here, but definitely inside here we want to hit this with the air gun. Okay, so I've removed the tape deck unit here, and you can see it's got a snapped belt. Also, this whole mech unit was just absolutely filthy. Wobble on the motor here, and that's to do with those two screws being loose. So we've identified that problem. We've identified the belt being broken. Used a brush. Use one of these little 25 millimeter brush here, but this will get rid of all that other dust that's hard that won't come off with the air gun. And I've removed these speakers, and if you can have a look at how dirty those speakers are here, I'll zoom in a little bit. Accumulated all around this section here. Really, really terrible. So I'm just going to use a brush here very lightly. Now these cones are so old that yeah, you really need to be very careful with the end. You don't want to use an air gun on these because you can blow a hole through them. It's pretty good, and I'll put that back together. So looking at the motor problem, why it was wobbling is has these rubber sort of standoffs here in between that sort of squish the motor on. Gotten thinner over time because it's been squashed. Screws actually have only a small amount of thread on them, so you've only got that much to play with. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put another washer on top, reduce that gap, and that should allow that screw to actually push the motor up against that assembly. So there's two little washers on top of that, and you can see how that's completely fixed that motor now. There's no movement at all, and it should be enough that we can still get that over there, and it's not going to hit. I'm going to connect up the power supply, play on here. We should hopefully see some activity on the motor. I think that might actually be fast forward. Motor is working fine, so that's good. So it could all just be down to that particular belt being broken. What we're going to have to do is get a replacement belt here. I'll see if I can find one that's very similar, about like a 1mm belt, square belt. So the largest belt that I've got here looks to be about this size here. And one of the other things too that I noticed about this was that just underneath this here, we've got this little capstan here. It's a little bit of movement. We need to take this off in order to fit the belt. There is another belt that sits underneath this. In order to get to that belt, you do need to remove the capstan. So the other belt that's under there will need to be probably changed as well. That is, if you look on the other side here, there's a little plastic cap over that capstan. You just got to pull that off, and then you can remove this capstan. If we have a look, totally perished. You can see it just broke there in my hands. And tested out the fast forward and rewind, and that's working as well. So this cassette mechanism now is fully working. A lot of that stuff there is some old grease or something that they've used. So first of all, what I might do is a little bit of metho just to clean up those metal parts there, and then apply a little bit of the oil. This particular VU meter works a little bit differently in that when you have it in play mode, this will shoot from the 20 right up to the 0, and if you can see there, it says battery and then it says full. When you enable the record mode on the tape, that's when the actual VU meter starts working, because what happens is you're monitoring on record, and that's a bit of a shame really, because I would like nice to be able to see this VU meter start moving up and down while it was just doing normal play mode. My VU meter, something is going on with it, and it's sort of getting stuck. You can get some 40mm VU meters, different ones here, and I was thinking about maybe just getting in a new one. Plate there, that silver plate, you can actually remove that, but it's exactly the same in that it has the -20 to the 3 dB there. So I'm going to order in one of those. I've just got a little bit of electronic circuit cleaner here, and one of the other issues that I had was with the beat cancel switch. I'm just going to spray in a little bit of this, click the beat cancel up and down. There we go. Also the one other thing too that I need to change here is the belt here on the counter. So you have this little counter on the front here, and this one was actually pretty worn as well. So I'm going to replace that one too, and again I'm going to add that to my list there. I think that probably can get away with this, another 55mm as well. So generally you want to have maybe a belt that's roughly about 10mm shorter. That's usually what I try to go for, and it seems to work quite well. So I'm just going to write that on here, 55 folded. You can put that down as the tape deck is repaired, and that seems to be working fine. I've cleaned up the heads with a little bit of 99% alcohol, and obviously I'm going to have to do a follow-up for this and for that VU meter and show you that. I'm pretty happy with this thing, and I have to say it sounds pretty good. Also, I've actually found a supplier in Australia for the motors, $13 for the motor and $10 shipping. So I'm really happy that I've found that place. So that's it, and until next time, see you on the next project.